You got that Masters and jerry rigging, right?
Yeah. Hey, where I come from, they start their trucks with a screwdriver. Hey friends, how are y'all doing today? So I have good news and bad news. What do you want first? Bad news first. We broke the mulcher. Last time when we were finishing up mulching, I mentioned to Kenneth that the chute was feeling wiggly. And when I was editing the videos, I noticed as I was editing that it was getting a little bit more wobbly as we were going along our days and all that mulching we done for those 2 days straight. And so he came out here today to look at it, and it's broken. The plastic part is broken. Y'all, look at the, like the plastic broke off there. Here. So this whole corner was loose and it's not holding in place. I don't even know where to get a new one of these. We bought this wood chipper off Facebook. It was used. It is not new. And I think it's several years old. It's an MTD Yardmachine. It's worked great for us. It's definitely been worth the purchase. But now we got to figure out where to get a new chute for it. Good news is, crap. I guess the good news kind of comes with bad news too. But good news is, Pretty Girl had her babies. She had 6 little babies last night. And the bad news for that is, she's not the best mom. Her sister, Nosy Rosie, totally spoiled us. She's a fantastic mom. Have had no issues with her. Her litter has always been covered in very thick fur to keep them warm. All of their bellies always look super swollen where she's feeding them very well. She's a very good mom. We have not had any issues with her, and she has 9 babies. Pretty Girl, on the other hand, had 6. She hardly pulled any fur. Last night we had to come out here and pull fur to keep her babies warm throughout the night because it was 30 degrees last night. I come out here this morning to feed them. She didn't even have the babies covered. They were all alive and they were in their nest box, but there was nothing on top of them. So they were just completely exposed. So I redid the nest and covered them back up and stuck them back in there. But their bellies didn't seem very round, so I was unsure if they got fed this morning or not. I don't know, she's just not that great of a mom. We're going to have to keep a very close eye on her litter to make sure that they're getting what they need. So let's go check on these babies. All right, Mama, are you being good? Are you being a good mama? Oh, man, come on, Pretty Girl. Okay, so on here, it looks much better than it does in person. I don't know if it's really blurring everything out, but if you look, you can totally see there is no fur on top of those babies. There is just hay. I covered them all up this morning with fur, and there's none on them. This looks better than it did this morning when I come out. There wasn't even hay on top of them. This morning there was nothing, like I could just see babies.
Oh, piggies. My piggies.
Those are baby bunnies.
Bunnies. Oh. It's tigers. And tigers.
So I've got them covered back up. But just wait till you see the difference in this nest box and Nosy Rosie's. Alright, watch out. Let me put these back. Move, Pretty Girl. Move, Pretty Girl. Move. Don't touch. Don't touch. Sit down. So this is Nosy Rosie's nest box. As you can see, the fur is much further back. All of her babies are at the very back. And there is so much fur on them, you can't even see them wiggle. And these babies are bigger than those. I mean, that mama pulled a ton of fur. And these babies are getting very big.
Piggies. The big.
Those are babies. Y'all aren't even gonna be able to see what it looks like. So these babies don't even need like hay or anything on top of them because that mama has so much fur on top of them.
Robin.
Are you ready?
What?
Shoot's $100.
Holy good gracious. So it's $100 for a new one of those? I think we only gave like $160 for the whole thing. Can we duct tape it? Can we use Gorilla Glue? What do we do?
Give me a minute. I don't think
Epoxy? Could you epoxy it?
probably. I don't know how long it lasts. Go up here and see it out.
That was not the news I wanted. More bad news. Who wants to spend $100 for a plastic chute 3 days before Christmas when you only paid $160 for the entire wood chipper? I know there are some people out there that are saying, just buy a new chute, just buy a new chute. Which we could do, but if you don't know our story, we are building this homestead on a budget. A very tight budget. And so if we spend money on a new chute, that takes away money from something else. So we kind of have to prioritize where our money goes. A new chute was not something we wanted to spend money on. To be honest, on the priority list of where the wood chipper falls, it's fairly low. Because we could just leave this brush out here and let it compost. We could burn it to get it out of the way. It does not have to be mulched. The mulch is nice to have, but it does not have to be mulched. So, a new chute is not happening. Kenneth is going to try to come up with a DIY fix. If we can do that, we will share that with you. But it looks like...
Doggies. I got doggies.
What were you doing?
Doggies. Doggies.
What were you doing?
Oh, what?
So let's say this Vlogmas episode is going to be an episode of good news and bad news. If you don't follow us on Instagram though, I posted 3 final name choices over on Instagram, and believe it or not, they're none of the ones we originally were coming up with. But I'm letting people vote because we are at our wits' end with trying to come up with a name on a homestead. And there's 3 that we both agreed on that we like, but we can't pick a name. So the names we are currently looking at are New Living Homestead, Briar Heights Homestead, or Wild Pine Homestead. That's where we're at. Which one do y'all like the best? To be in the official running, go over to our Instagram at livingthehightlife. Look for the reel that has the homestead name vote on it, and go to those comments and leave us a comment on which one is your favorite. Our name for our homestead will be announced Christmas Day on our final Vlogmas video. So stay tuned for that. It's coming up. We are getting close. We are almost there. Let's go see what Kenneth's come up with on fixing the mulcher. My idea is you keep shooting them down.
Shoot, man.
Super glue, duct tape, epoxy. That's all I got.
You got that Masters and jerry rigging, right?
Yeah. Hey, where I come from, they start their trucks with a screwdriver.
Yeah. We know you do.
Can we not just epoxy this back into place? And then put a piece of epoxy right here at the edge to kind of make this solid? Can we not?
Daddy?
I'm wondering if I actually took and just cut this down to where it's a lot closer. That would take a lot of the stress off, because if you're way out here and you're jamming stuff in it, that's a lot more.
No.
It's closer, it's going to stay more close to and tighter.
No.
So,
Are you eating a piece of wood?
It's not the best of wood.
You're eating a piece of wood? Oh!
Won't get me.
oh no! What'd you break it for?
I'm breaking chair. I'm breaking chair.
You broke your chair?
Now they make like this 2-part epoxy putty like stuff.
So now you're getting on my epoxy train.
No, I'm using putty, not epoxy.
You said it was a 2-part epoxy.
Well, it's not actually epoxy, it's more of a putty.
But it's an epoxy. Well, looks like we are headed to the parts store to get a putty, not an epoxy. A
Might
putty.
get both. You never know.
Hopefully we can get this thing fixed. I don't know. Tune back tomorrow for Vlogmas to find out what the solution was and if it got fixed.
Apples.
Bye, friends.
Apples.
We see you tomorrow. Your Vlogmas question of the day is, when you wrap Christmas presents, do you put bows and ribbon on them? In our home, we do just paper wrappings, but I do think the bows are cute. I just ain't got time for that. So, do you do bows and ribbon on your presents or just paper? Let me know in the comments below. Bye now. See y'all tomorrow.